Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to everyone. I hope everyone's having a good and fresh start for today. Have everyone had your breakfast? Coffee? Fresh mind, yeah? Okay, good. So, as we are starting our first official training program session, yesterday was the keynote speech. I wasn't expecting this phone call. Sorry, yeah. So, just to recall, last night, Dr. Chandra's talk covers a lot on the challenges that we are facing, particularly among Muslim societies, Muslim countries in a global setting. And part of his emphasis on dealing with the challenges is how for us to connect back to the main essence of Islam, particularly mainly to say the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet. And these are the main things that should drive the idea and the discussions about Islam and reform. So starting our sessions today, we are going to discuss even further about the main topic of our summer school program on Islamic reform, covering the main ideas and elements of the principles of Islah, Tajdid and Ijtihad, as based on these terminologies that we would learn and we would touch even further today. It explains the dynamic spirit of Islam itself and how should we engage with these main key topics into our present challenges in life, particularly among Muslims. And I'm sure at least some of you have gone through the reading materials that we have proposed, and one of the reading materials that we prepared is coming from the important book by Muhammad Iqbal, from his reconstruction of religious thought, mainly to say that the chapter on the principles of movement in Islam. So it shows the element, the importance of the dynamic elements, and how is it from such dynamic principles, Muslim society should always be part of that development process of the world. So I always have this favorite quote from one of Iqbal's poetry work. One of it, in a very simple way, he put it, I move, therefore I am. So it's not just maybe just a simple statement, but if you understand Iqbal's critique is actually further deeper, that he responds to the Cartesian philosophical discourse of just I think, therefore I am. So it's not just about thinking, because this mindset of philosophy, which is very influential in the development of knowledge and how the world is being structured and how this world is being later institutionalized globally, have also some relations, influence the challenges that we are facing, as being discussed by Professor Chandra earlier. So from such principle of movement and how does it also relates to reform, I will just to briefly share a bit of my experience. Part of movement is about traveling. So I remember in 2015, back in 2015, in one of my earliest travel to Europe, I managed to visit a few places. First was, I was part of a Tabligh Jama'ah group, visiting Amsterdam for a few number of days. And later I visited Granada, and also later I got to know some friends as part of a program in Granada, including Junaid, who's not here yet, Sonia as well. And part of that same visit is actually the first time I visited Leeds. And when I visited Leeds, that is where I got to know that in the, finally Junaid is here, I was just mentioning you. In part of that visit in Leeds, I got to know that there's an Iqbal Center at the University of Leeds. So I remember during that first visit, it was actually during the winter break. It was like just 1 or 2 days before Christmas, and I was interested to know more what is this Iqbal Center is all about. I straight away wrote an email to the Iqbal Center, and thankfully at that time, Dr. Taj responded. And we managed to give a visit, discuss more about our works from IRF, and get to know Dr. Taj and Dr. Mustafa Sheikh as well. So from there, our interest and looking into ways that we can explore the future and also relates to how we later come up with the plan for the program of the IRF Summer School materialized. So just to moving forward for our program today, I will just briefly introduce Dr. Taj. So Dr. Taj is going to cover for today's session all three main sessions on the discussion about Islamic reform in three continuous sessions. Yeah? Dr. Tajul Islam, he's a lecturer in Islamic Studies at the Department of Arabic, Islamic and Middle Eastern Studies at the University of Leeds, and also co-director of the Iqbal Center for Critical Muslim Studies. He specializes in Kalam, Usul, Tafsir, Hadith, and Tasawwuf. His areas of research interest include sectarianism, ecumenism, and scholastic tradition of the subcontinent. In particular, he is interested in the promotion of critical madrasa studies. So without further delay, I would like to invite Dr. Tajul Islam to give his talk for today. Thank you.